Alright, hello. Welcome to another video. Today we're gonna take a look at two more Warframes that have great synergies with specific weapons. And for today's Warframes we are gonna do Garuda and Nidus. So again, I'm going not in any particular order, just in an order that I understand the Warframes kits a lot and I can help you figure out some weapons with them. So starting off with my second or third favorite Warframe, it's either her or Mirage, Garuda. Garuda has a lot of interesting stuff on her abilities. First of all, obviously her passive, that is basically 100% roar. Like, it's not exactly roar, it's something more than roar. I don't really understand it, but it basically gives 100% weapon damage to anything. But because her fourth and first abilities is also coded as weapon damage, then this passive works on these abilities and also works on any other subsume ability that might be coded as weapon damage, such as Neutron Star. Just so you know, this doesn't just give ability damage like roar, it scales also a bit differently, as it does a bit more damage than roar in comparison. I'm not really sure, but at this point, I don't really care about the technical stuff. All I know is that you get 100% more damage and it works. The other part of Garuda's ability is obviously her fourth, where her fourth forces / procs onto enemies as long as you have more than 133, I believe, percent strength. So now, why is this important? This is important to know how to synergize with it, because first of all, her passive scales with pretty much any other, damage buff ability. So you can do Roar, you can do Eclipse, you can do Zada's Whisper, you can do Nourish. Nourish also scales her first and fourth abilities again, because it's weapon damage abilities, which is a really popular choice on her and makes her kill everyone with just abilities. But today we're gonna look at weapons specifically. And for weapons specifically, Zada's Whisper just takes the cake. It has the craziest scaling because of the interaction with the 4 that basically you get an extra status proc because Zada's Whisper is its own damage instance and that also slash procs, and because of how her passive works, just scaling Zada's Whisper damage on top of the extra damage provided. Zada's Whisper, easily the best choice, and for her, we're choosing any shotgun with 5 fire rates and multi-shot is really good, but because I don't want to repeat weapons, I'm gonna choose the Coda, Bubonico and the twin Kohmak. These two are absolutely insane with this character, but again, any shotgun with high fire rate and multi-shot will work. So think of Strand Prime, think of Boar Prime, think of the Cedo Prime. Like, all of these shotguns with high fire rate and multi-shot will work really well. But we're gonna do Coda, Bubonico and twin Kohmak, with Coda Bubonico being this build, and here having a Blaze mode instead of the Riven mode. And if you don't have a Blaze mode, just like any heat mode, Scattering Inferno also works really well. A Magnetic Valence bonus, and you mode for Blast and Electricity, just for the extra procs. And the idea is that the moment you press 4 onto any enemy and you shoot them, they will die because the slash proc just hurts really much. And Coda Bubonico has also the added benefit of being multi-co on its primary fire, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong on that, but it does feel like that. If it's not, then it just has way too high of a base damage, and that's just stupid. But the idea is that on Garuda build herself, actually, let me talk a bit more about the Garuda build, because I know a lot of people will probably be interested into this. So, Garuda build. First of all, let's talk about shards. Shards, I have 2 casting speed. These are very important. I cannot play Garuda without these casting speed swords. And then we have 1 energy max and 2 armor. With Umbral Intensify and Umbral Fiber, her armor reaches a very healthy 1416. And when you add health conversion, you also add another, 1350? If I remember correctly? Yes, 1350. So you go well over 2000 armor, well over 2500 armor, matter of fact, which is quite a bit of damage reduction just from armor itself, which scales the quick thinking mode. So the idea of the Garuda build that I have here is that it scales from energy, and the way you acquire your energy and your health back, since you don't have your second ability anymore, is that on your operator, I don't know if I can check it, I probably can't, but on your operator you have an arcane called Magus Elevate. And Magus Elevate, when you go into your operator and you go out of your operator, you heal your Warframe for its full health. And to make sure it's the full health, because we have 370 here, we can easily go into our gear items and equip the Bleeding Dragon Key. I've made a video about this before. The Bleeding Dragon Key on Garuda is really strong for this exact reason, and it didn't actually... What? Okay, I guess it doesn't work on the arsenal anymore. Okay, I should have like 72 health, but it's fine. I don't remember exactly. I think it was 72. What matters is that the Bleeding Dragon Key not only works on Garuda herself and gives you way easier time healing back up so you can energy tank, but also when you have a Wisp in the squad, it also lowers the maximum HP you get from the reservoir, but it doesn't lower the health regen, which makes it really easy, since your third ability consumes percent of maximum health, to restore that maximum health way quicker when you have a Wisp in your squad, for example. So even if you're not solo and you're in a squad, Wisp, one of the most popular support Warframes in the game, if not the most popular, you are gonna get a huge value from running the Bleeding Dragon Key. So yeah, after that, obviously Arcane Battery, just to maximize the energy amount as much as possible. And then the secondary arcane is a fire arcane, which for now it will be arcane tempo, so we can showcase the Coda Bubonico. And then I'm gonna change it to arcane velocity, so we can showcase the twin Kohmak. Let's go ahead, see if Circulus has a fissure. It does. No way. I didn't actually check it, by the way. I actually gambled that it had a I didn't actually check it, I swear. But yeah, Garuda, pretty much any weapon you choose on her will be good. Her talents are also amazing, like absolutely. And I don't really have them. I have the Kratos. Fuck my life. But yeah. Oh shit, wait. I forgot to cast her. Whoopsies. Anyways. You see the bleed procs every time I shoot? They add quite a bit. And the bleed procs damage is obviously really good. Especially when you add Zada's Whisper and you have your passive stack. The bleed proc damage gets a bit crazy. This weapon also has the Shotgun Elementalist mode, and Elementalist modes in general do help quite a bit, but yeah. Already on its own, you can see that, yeah, it does get the job done very easily. I also should have bought a Panzerwaffe so it healed me passively, but it's alright. And yeah. Yeah. Lots of damage. I want to find an Eximus just so I can hit him and we can see like the amount of bleed procs I can get, but obviously you do get the point. Like I shoot once and because of the high amount of multi-shots. Oh, there we go. Look, 64 bleed procs. He's dead in one bullet. Like that's what I'm talking about. With one shot, because of Zada's Whisper and the extra multi-shot from the weapon itself just having really high multi-shot, you get so many bleed procs. You get some insane amount of bleed procs, and they add up to a lot of damage. Snipers are also really good on Garuda, like high hitters, like just straight up weapons that hit really hard. They're really good on her, but I just like shotguns with high fire rate load because it just gets the bleed procs to go brr. And that's really funny, honestly. And Bubonico is a great choice. Coda Bubonico is possibly one of the craziest shotgun stat-wise in the entire game. So I do think it benefits you just running this straight up on her. Like every bullet just does a shit ton of damage even without Zada's Whisper, and with Zada's Whisper it just gets crazy. So yeah. It is really insane. It is really insane. But yeah, Garuda is a great frame. Again, no matter what weapon you choose, because of her passive and Zada's Whisper, if you run this combo, it's gonna be great. You will have a great time. But I do suggest high fire rate shotguns. They just make her so much more fun to play, and you can get so much better results. It's absolutely wild. Alright. Let's go ahead about mission and check on the twin Kohmak. I can also showcase the Panzerwaffe setup, so you can play this build without having to swap to your operator all the time, because I know that does get kind of annoying, and the Panzerwaffe helps a lot on restoring your health on its own passively. So we go to Hans, and here we have this. So Prime Pack Leader, in case you do get her talents, just to heal it. But the important part is Viral Quills plus Hunter Recovery. These two mods together, they heal you for your full health pretty much all the time. Like the healing is absurd on this, and you can use this for any health tanking build. Like the Panzerwaffe does get the job done if you do any health tanking build. But On Garuda specifically, when her health is so low and she wants to shield tank by spamming her 3, this guy becomes essential. And not only that, you also have Tech Assault plus... where is it? Oh yeah, right, I removed it because it was bugging out. Okay, never mind. But normally, you can do Martyr Symbiosis, and if you don't health tank, this will absolutely save you multiple times, so do keep that in mind. On Garuda, it gets procced when she procs quick thinking right now, so until that gets fixed, I will go with this and not replace any mode. If that gets fixed and Martyr Symbiosis works through and after quick thinking, then we can go ahead and do that right after. Go ahead on Garuda build, swap to Arcane Velocity, and go ahead and take a look at the Twin Kohmak, which if you have a Riven for these weapons, definitely give them a try even without Garuda, because the Twin Kohmak might be some of the hardest hitting secondaries in the entire game. Like, they get really close to the Furies in Carnon in damage per second. They are just that strong with this. And, you know, you get a Riven mode that has, for example, heat if you want, like to go pure heat. They have heat and then they have some multi-shot crit damage because you run Enervate on them, and it's crazy. The really important thing about these weapons and running them is having Prime Steady Hands. Without Prime Steady Hands, these weapons are unusable. With Prime Steady Hands, these weapons are absolutely insane. Why they're unusable without Prime Steady Hands? Simple. The recoil bounces so much that your bullets straight up miss and you lose a ton of damage. With Prime Steady Hands, this is not the case and you just absolutely beam everyone. So let's go ahead and check them out. Same mission. We have some time left, so we can go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna open the relic probably, but these two weapons for Garuda, really cool. Obviously her talents are also amazing. Having the extra multiplier when there is a downed enemy, like for ground finishers, they can pretty much one-shot anybody. Also, look at my health. Because of viral quills, my health. Yeah. It is stupid. Anyways, Twin Kohmak. This weapon is dumb. I love it. But yeah, if you do want to run Garuda, having this combination on your pet saves you a lot of trouble of having to swap to your operator. And yeah, the one thing about Twin Kohmak that I will agree is kind of annoying is the low ammo, but you can easily make do with that by just killing enough, or you know, just sacrificing one mode to run ammo mutation, but killing enough should be fine. If this thing had higher ammo capacity, it would be absolutely broken, to be honest, so I don't really mind it too much, if I'm gonna be so for real. So yeah, as you can see... Oh, well, that fixes my issue. Brr. Yeah. Oh, I got sided by quick thinking. Oops. Yeah. This has a 4 Riven disposition, by the way. I'm just gonna straight up say that. Also on Siren, this weapon gets crazy, but Siren has other weapons that I want to go through for sure. Just a really dumb fun weapon. Look at the bleed procs. That guy got 500 bleed procs in like a second, by the way. That is so crazy. That is absolutely wild. So yeah, Twin Kohmak. A weapon of all time. It is definitely a weapon of all time. Oh, hello. Holy shit. I love this thing. It used to be one of my personal favorites back in the day because of its absurd DPS, and it still held up to this day because of things like secondary Enervate fixing its critical chance, and Prime Steady Hands fixing its recoil issues. So Yeah, now it's just an amazing weapon. And also, as you can see, I'm using like the regular recoil of the game. I'm not using the reticle. And it doesn't really bounce so much. It's very stable. There is some bouncing on the screen, but for the most part, this is like way more chill than what it used to be, where it would be bouncing around like crazy. So, you know, definitely a big improvement coming from a mod that you wouldn't really expect. Like, how much can minus recoil do? Quite a lot, apparently. Kohmak, Coda Bubonico, any shotgun with high fire rates on this Warframe, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, let's move on to Nidus. My goat. Let me remove the bleeding dragon key, because for this guy it's catastrophic. So Nidus used to be one of my most played Warframes, and I know him a lot, and it is because simply from the team buffer build. I used to do it with Roar, but nowadays you can do it with Bright Bonnet as well, and I feel like Bright Bonnet for 90% of the time is better. Like, your team will most likely not have it, so you should take it, but you know, you can also do Roar and it's absolutely fine. And then we have the Solo Endless, which is with Parasitic Vitality and just Abundant Mutation, and you reach like 90,000 health and whatever. And the Solo Sword Mission, which is probably what I'm gonna do today for, you know, some of the stuff. I think I'm gonna do Solo Endless for one weapon and Solo Short for the other weapon, because Seeming Virulence will buff one of the two weapons by a huge margin. And which one is the one weapon? Well, none other than the Coda Hema. And the other weapon, none other than the Coda Hirudo. And I'm pretty sure if you guys have played these weapons, you already know exactly why these weapons are amazing on this guy. Well, first of all, let's go to the Coda Hema and read its unique trait. Drains up to 5% Warframe health to reload. Headshots with this weapon have 5% lifesteal. Yes, these weapons both have some sort of lifesteal, and they have a lot of it. So you're permanently at full HP, you cannot really die, and thankfully, because of this augment, you do get an extra 360% critical chance and critical damage onto the Coda Hema, which makes it absolutely wild. And yeah, this replaces my critical chance mode, so you just put a critical chance mode instead of the Riven and you're good to go. But, I mean, it is absolutely stupid what this can do, so I think we should just go ahead and check it out, because, like, yeah, honestly, it is so stupid how much damage the Coda Hema can do with this setup, and obviously how much healing you get from it, especially when paired with the Panzer of Opafila, which I forgot to change the build so I don't die either, but it doesn't matter. Alright, just getting some stacks, and you saw immediately my health went back up to full after reloading. So, I'm here, kitty. Now I can hold 3, but still like aiming, so even with just no teaming virulence and just shooting the weapon, already you can see that this is quite powerful. But let me go find Grandpa if I can see him on the minimap. He should be this way. Yo, kitty. Oh my god, he's running too far. Beat them. Okay. Well. Oh, nice stack increasing. How much? 1700% crit chance? Okay. Yeah. 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 So yeah, you heal 5% of whatever you hit all the time. Oh no, of course. Of course. How lovely. I get double strength on Nidus. Kitty. Where's Kitty? Yeah, like, of course. Why not? This guy has 95% DR? Gone. Why he had 95% DR? Because of that guy. That guy gives everyone around him a lot of damage reduction, so yeah. Like 29 million damage. 36 million damage. Yeah. I know Nidus is broken and everything, but this weapon on him, you know, it just takes the cake. It's so unbelievably busted. You can never ever run out of health. Like, this weapon will take so much of your health. Look at my health on the reload, boom, and then one headshot and it's back to full HP. It's insane. Like, it's absolutely wild what this weapon can do on this guy. Like, holy shit. So yeah, you become unkillable. Your damage is nuts, obviously, because it's the Hema. And yeah, I mean, what else do you want? Your damage is nuts and you become unkillable. Do you need anything else? Hit one headshot and win. Like, my goodness. And yeah, obviously Teaming Virulence helps a lot here. Without Teaming Virulence, this is still absolutely fine. But I mean, like right now, this is without Teaming Virulence. The damage is still, you know, it is still absolutely wild. So don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. This is totally normal here, like totally normal. Yeah. You hit one headshot and you heal back up to full HP. You do a ton of damage. This on reload might take your health to like half, and then you just heal it all back up with one headshot. And in general, you're just unkillable, and you get some crazy stats from just, yeah. So yeah, layers and layers of survivability paired with some nutty damage. I think this is a good enough showcase of why this weapon is absolutely bonkers on someone like Nidus, especially with Teaming Virulence. Now, let's do just the regular build for endless missions with Abundant Mutation, and for this one, we can easily go ahead and showcase the Coda Hirudo. Since, obviously, you know, Teaming Virulence, really good, but we won't use a primary, so it doesn't really matter. On this one, I have Persistence, but honestly, I don't need it. I can remove it for this case. I'm not gonna die. Like, I can't die. I already know. Because critical hits have 5% lifesteal and increases maximum health by 5% for 15 seconds, which stacks up to 25%. I'm not sure if this scales multiplicatively with parasitic vitality or not. I guess we'll find out depending on what number we'll see, but yeah. I have an influence build on this, and then I think I tried some other builds, but influence was just too powerful, so yeah, do whatever you want with that. And here, this weapon replaces my 60-60 electricity mode. What is it? Voltax Strike? Yeah. But provides a bit more attack speed, so this weapon feels a bit more comfortable with the attack speed. In general, these type of sparring weapons have some pretty weird stances, so having a bit more attack speed is definitely worth it, which is also why I have Arcane Strike on the Warframe. But yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. And I'm actually curious to see if it's multiplicative or additive to the Parasitic Vitality mode. Because if it's multiplicative and this weapon gives you like 100,000 health, I don't think it will be, but you never know. Okay. No, it's additive. Okay, it's additive, but it doesn't really matter. You pick it for the lifesteal, mostly. The lifesteal is just nuts. You get, like... Dude, no way. How did I get both? I have all three weapons on me, and both times I get the buff on Nidus. Like, this never happens when I'm in a squad and I want to buff people. Like, you can't be serious. Anyways, this time at least, it doesn't matter for the Coda Hirudo, like we don't get an extra critical chance, just like we did with the Coda Hema, and having double strength on that one, but, I mean, you know, why not? So yeah, Coda Hirudo is just a decent weapon, like, obviously influence weapon, so your damage is still pretty good, like, no issues with your damage whatsoever. But because Hirudo has the extra lifesteal on every hit and the extra maximum health, it does provide quite a bit of utility to Nidus so he doesn't really die. There are other weapons that lifesteal, but I think the absolute simplicity of Coda Hirudo, especially when pairing it with influence, it's just hard to pass up, no? Like, you just have a weapon that deals decent damage, like we saw 16 million there. And it also increases your maximum health permanently. Like, yeah, I'll gladly take that, you know? I think it's a no-brainer, to say the least, that you would take this on Nidus, right? And I do think, like, for Garuda, we said, like, okay, we have these two weapons, but a lot of other weapons would be considered best in slot, or really, really good at least. I think on Nidus, the Coda, Hema, and the Hirudo are the actual two best in slot weapons that you can pick. Like, there is no better ones. Because they just do too much for him, basically. Especially the Hema. The Hema is just insane. Especially with Teaming Virulence. Right now, giving this much crit chance to a weapon that has some of the highest DPS out of every primary weapon in the game, while also providing lifesteal to Nidus. You know, the Warframe with the highest amount of health in the entire game. Unless we are counting the Oraxia stuff you can do when you pair her with Wisp and Nidus and everything else. Like, yeah, sure. I get it, but being so for real, it's probably Nidus, and yeah. Oraxia cannot use these other weapons that well, and she's not as tanky, even though she has a lot of health. Nidus is super tanky. Nidus is, in fact, so tanky that it just stops making sense, really. Like, he can't really die. Imagine if you go ahead on this build and you sacrifice some of the attack speed I have to add Arcane Persistence. Like, how would you ever die? You're basically immortal. Nothing can really phase you when you're using these weapons and you have Persistence on Nidus. And then a lot of other Warframes, like, you can say the same thing for Inaris, but like, with the amount of maximum health Nidus has, he can benefit from that 5% lifesteal as much as he wants. Because 5% might sound like a little, but what is 5% of 30 million damage, bro? Like, you know? It's gonna take you way up to full HP again. It's not gonna really matter. So yeah. Do we do an Acolyte kill? Like, finish the mission so I can see what relic I'm getting? I mean, might as well, right? But yeah, incredible weapons, both of them. Just some crazy stacking mechanic, and I know the Coda Hema at the start didn't seem that great, like for the first two enemies, but then obviously after you stack, yeah. Okay, yeah, I get it. I have no prime shoot footage because I haven't linked to an enemy. Can I get my stacks now? Thanks. Where are the sentients? Did I kill them? I might have killed them without realizing due to influence. Or Nidus doing this. I'm not even sure at this point. The sentients might be dead. I don't see them. Anyways, Mania. Goodbye, Mania. What did we expect? Hirudo does damage. It's not a bad weapon. Like, damage-wise, it's definitely not a bad weapon. All Coda weapons, damage-wise, are actually really good. A lot of people were disappointed on Coda weapons when they first came out because they were simply boring in comparison to like what other weapons we had at the time. But stats-wise, they're all really, really great. All of them. Every single one of them. Even the Tysis, like, it deals some really, really good upfront damage. And comparing it to the regular Tysis that is just a glorified primer, the Coda version can actually put in work and do some decent, or not just decent, some really good, like, single target damage. So, yeah, really good stuff from the Coda weapons. They are pretty much the highlight of today's video. I think we had like 3 Coda weapons today, right? Coda Bubonico, yeah, Twin Kohmak, Coda Hema, and Coda Hirudo. So 3 Coda weapons today out of the 4, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. I think people kind of overlook the fact that the stats on these Coda weapons are really insane, but I do agree on one thing. The Coda Hema at the start was really good on its own, and then they gave it a broken ass augment, so now it's just straight up insane and people are sleeping on it. But yeah, for this guy, this thing is stupid, and this thing is kind of stupid, but this thing is, it just takes the cake. Like, why would you not use this on Nidus? any, like, there is no way you wouldn't want to use this on Nidus, and like in any way. And you have so much damage, you can, like, I have Prime Shed on this, but you know, you could even go for even more utility if you want. Like, it just does too much damage. It doesn't really matter. Thank you very much for watching another video of mine, and I will see you on the next one.